Well, a pleasant hello to everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. Welcome to June, everyone. The
Mhm.
early part, the early part of summer is here. And we are back here live and in color. And this week we are starting our 4-week series of divisional previews. Later on, we'll be discussing and previewing the AFC West and the NFC West. We're going to do that just a little while from now. Of course, my name is Tim McClellan. Of course, as always, I'm joined by my good buddies here, the host of Hooked on Sports, Mr. John Flynn.
Howdy, howdy, everybody! Welcome to a show with the Wild Wild West.
Hey, there's a going right there. And we have our league commissioner, John Natale, with us.
Yeah. What's good, guys? Yeah, I can't believe it. Football season it's actually approaching a lot quicker than we expected.
It's
3 months away. Huh?
99 days until the Seahawks and the Patriots open up the season in Seattle. So
Mhm.
it's definitely gonna be a doozy there, and it's a good. We're starting with the West, but we will. And as Tim mentioned, today we are starting our 4 weeks off-season series of previewing each of the divisions in the NFL, and we'll do each conference's Western division this week, and then so on and so forth, until we get to 3 weeks from now, where we'll finish here in the East. So, hot topics, everybody. Let's do it.
Oh man, you want to talk about? I don't know if any of you '80s music fans remember a song called "Manic Monday." Well, let
Mhm.
me tell you people something. That it was a manic Monday just yesterday, and of course, actually, the real action started about a few days earlier. And of course, we have to get started with that particular piece of information right here. The Cleveland Browns traded two-time Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for a nice young defensive player by the name of Jared Verse. Uh, Glenn, what do you make of this one? Who do you think got the better deal?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that Tim didn't mention was the draft capital that went back to Cleveland in this trade. So in addition to acquiring defensive rookie 2024 defensive rookie of the year Jared Verse, the Cleveland Browns also acquired the Rams' first round pick for next year, the second round pick the following year, and their third round pick the year after that. So basically three top 100 picks going towards the Browns, so that the Rams can receive the services of the the reigning defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett, coming off an historic season where he set an NFL record with 23 sacks, the most by any player in an NFL season. And it really says that the Rams are pushing all the chips to the center of the table, to make a run at the Super Bowl, to make sure that they win a championship for Matthew Stafford with what they have. So what was your instant reactions when you heard the news?
I want to say I was kind of, I wasn't shocked, but I was surprised. Uh, I mean, Jared Verse, a little bit younger. I think he could probably help out the Browns defense a little bit while the Ram defense gets a little bit better. So, don't know if I can give an exact take on who actually won this trade here. Well, I'll just have to see it with my own eyes when the season starts up.
Yeah, I think you can obviously be critical of the Browns on how they handle a lot of different things, but I will say this. I thought the Browns had a terrific offseason because, like, they know they have no shot to win, to do anything this year or next because the quarterback situation is a mess, and the lack of talent is there, is present all throughout that roster. But I thought they had a good draft. That I really liked how they attacked the issues. They bolstered the receiver room. They got a franchise right tackle. They helped out on the defense as well. And it was clear that Myles Garrett was frustrated with what was going on with the Browns and the lack of commitment to winning that they have. So Myles Garrett wanted to go to a contender, hopefully, for his case to win the Super Bowl. And Myles Garrett does just that to what might be the last major piece on what they hope is a team that wins the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. So that's a big piece of news there. So Garrett to the Rams and Verse to the Browns. We'll just have to see what happens there. You can file this next story under "Saw This Coming." Uh,
Mm-hmm.
as pretty much expected, the Philadelphia Eagles have traded AJ Brown to the New England Patriots. So it looks like Drake May is going to have yet another great weapon for his arsenal. Maybe AJ could be a big help on getting the Patriots back to the AFC Championship game like they did last year. So let's see here. Your thoughts on Browns and the Patriots?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, this is, as for Giants and Cowboys fans are probably relieved. We don't have to deal with Brown anymore, at least for another few years at least. So now it's the rest of the division's problem now.
I mean, my thing on this, because I think it's a great trade for the Patriots. I think AJ Brown's a great fit for what the Patriots are trying to do offensively with Drake May, because if you saw all those deep balls that Drake May brilliantly threw last year, I mean, watching was such a thing of beauty, and no wonder he finished second in the NFL MVP voting. That's based upon how dominant he was and how great he was throughout the course of the season. And AJ Brown is as good a one-on-one receiver as you can find in the NFL these days, because his PFF marks throughout the years are outstanding, second to none. And he really was the catalyst for getting the Eagles to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and that the offense was so much more dangerous when AJ Brown was in there and available. I mean, like the difference, and really the difference between when he was in the lineup and when he was not in the lineup was certainly night and day. I mean, because if you go back to um, won the Super Bowl in 2024.
I think
Okay,
Flint's kind of breaking up also a bit.
Yeah. So in games where Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown finished the game, they did not lose a game from week 6 onward in their championship season. So yeah, AJ Brown is that impactful to a team, and he really really hits home how incredible that he's been. I think he's a great fit for the Patriots offense. Now, I still think the Patriots roster is lacking in a couple of different areas, and the schedule is going to be a lot tougher this year than it was last year, because I mean the Patriots had kind of a cakewalk of a schedule. on their way to the Super Bowl, and an incredible amount of luck that went their way. So those two things are noted there for the Patriots. So I mean, and then in terms of fantasy, I think this is kind of a blow for if you're looking to have Romeo Dobbs. I think if you're looking to have Hunter Henry, I think having AJ Brown it means that those guys are going to lose some targets. And then as for Philly, I think Devontae Smith is now in line to be the Eagles' top receiver, and then Mekhi Lemon, who they got in a trade, trading up for Mekhi Lemon in the draft. I think that their fantasy stocks are have definitely risen since the trade became official.
All right. So AJ Brown to the Patriots. Very interesting right there. Well, so everything works out there. There's a story came up earlier today. Caught my eye. It looks like the Atlanta Falcons and Drake London have came to terms on a 4-year, $141 million contract extension, which includes $100 million guaranteed. He's playing right now on the final year of his rookie contract. So Drake London is going to remain in Atlanta until the 2030 season. So good move, huh?
Yeah, I think Drake. I think Drake London was a superb receiver before he got hurt. In the second half of the season last year, but but really he's been an impact player, and now I think with what I think is going to be a receiver, as an explosive friendly offense with Kevin Stefanski in there as an elite play caller, I think his abilities are going to be maximized a little bit. There's a better chance for it to be maximized. So, I'm looking at that. But yeah, but 35.5 million, 35.25 million a season is a lot, but it's definitely one where you have to be able to maximize off of that. So.
All right. So London's going to be staying with the Falcons for a little while now. So I saw this one other story that came up. Let's see. That's the linebacker Nick Herbig for the Steelers. 4-year, $100 million extension, $42 million guaranteed. So. How does that sound for Pittsburgh? I mean, are they still a weak, or do they need for more improvements on the defense? I'm not actually sure. I kind of wish Lucas was here because he could probably help explain it. But
yeah, they're probably like right on the middle of the pack, so we can go either way. They'll be that team that either like just makes it or just misses it. That's what they remind me of right now.
See, yeah, I think the Steelers are in that mix as well, and I think you have to make sure that you have to take care of your own players before those holes become big liabilities on your roster, and good for the Steelers on doing that.
Yeah, good for them there. Okay, Flan, I know you've got a couple more topics that we wanted to get into tonight.
Yeah, I'm going through myself to see if I see anything.
So I mean, the day as a Giants fan yesterday, Natalie was definitely.
Oh yeah.
So you bring it up.
This is just a carousel right here. Yeah, they signed 2 wide receivers. Well, actually, no, 3. All 3 of them are the league minimum. Well, one of them is just a wash. It's just to replace Gunnar Olszewski on the return side of things. Braxton Berrios. Mm-hmm. And they also signed a reunion after like 5 or 6 years. That one just perplexed me. I'm like, if they really wanted him that bad, why didn't they do it years ago?
My question is like, what? Why is he brought in if they want to establish a winning culture? But like, Odell was never a winning player when he was with the Giants. Yeah, he made that incredible catch against Dallas, but what Giants fans leave out about that is and then also too, he never won a playoff game with the Giants. And,
true. Yeah.
And then he gets traded. He makes noise everywhere he goes. He says some of the most off script things, and it kind of irks me. And then you have on top of that, Cam Scatterby doing backflips, Malik Neighbors, as shown in the video of the Brian Burns charity softball game, that he's clearly not ready. Is clearly not 100% when it comes to his speed. So yeah, I'm awfully concerned right now for the New York Football Giants in terms of what they're trying to accomplish this year.
Yeah. So I guess under the assumption that Neighbors isn't ready, which that appears to be the case, I think we're looking at possibly Malachi Fields as your number one target.
She never.
But yeah, look at this. This wide receiver room is crazy. I think I counted. There's 12 wide receivers, I think, currently on this roster. You have Calvin Austin.
Half of them are going to be cut before. And actually, another thing too with the roster cuts. So now the roster cuts have to happen by the Sunday, the second to last Sunday before the season starts. It used to be the second to last Tuesday. Now it has to cut, and now all the cuts are coming that Sunday.
Yeah, I think this is the end of Jalen Hyatt. I think he's one of the ones that are getting cut.
Oh, he's absolutely getting cut because now that it's post June 1, so that the Giants only have to take on like $270,000 of dead cap money, and while saving $1.5 million in cap space.
Yeah, and Isaiah Hodgins, I'm on the fence. That can go either way. Like, he's borderline. He's either going to be the back, like a backup returner, or the practice squad, or cut entirely. It's going to be one of those three. Hodgins is borderline. He'll be lucky if he makes it.
Yeah.
But I think he might. I'm looking through the names that are definitely.
I'll tell you one thing, guys.
Yeah, Ryan Miller, I think he might be getting cut.
I was going to say, if OBJ gets cut, I'm going to laugh so hard.
I don't think he will, though. See, I think he's safe. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is safe.
Juju, oh yeah, Juju.
Yeah, Ryan. I could see right now. Ryan Miller is definitely out. Jalen Hyatt is definitely out.
Yeah.
Slayton is safe despite his problems.
Barrows is probably going to be their kick return. Their kick returner. We all knew him as NFL man because he used to date Alex Earl. So
let's see if there's any other wide receivers here that I'm missing. Let me see. Yeah, Juju borderline. He'll probably make it. Slayton's going to make it. Let me see. I'm going down the line here. Let's see who else is here. Yeah, Neighbors is obviously safe. Mooney is definitely safe. So yeah, those two that I mentioned, I think, are getting cut. Miller, Hodgins is borderline, Hyatt, and then I think there was one other guy. I don't see it. I know there's one guy I didn't say. Gibson, that's the other guy. He's gone too.
Gibson, okay.
Gibson.
Well, we'll see what happens between now and then. So
so right now my lean point is Malachi Fields is wide receiver 1, Darnell Mooney is wide receiver 2, Calvin Austin is wide receiver 3, backup wide receiver 1, backup wide receiver would be Darius Slayton. Then the other backup I think will be Isaiah Hodgins. So I think Hodgins will make it. So there you go. There you go. There's your 6 wide receivers. And then sorry, not Hodgins. My bad. Backup 1 is Slayton. Backup 2 is OBJ. Backup 3 is Juju Smith-Schuster. So there you go. Those 6.
Wow, what a clown show!
With Berrios as your primary returner, and then Isaiah Hodgins as your backup returner. So there you go. They're gonna have 8 wide receivers on this roster.
What an amateur hour!
So yeah, Hodgins makes the roster by the skin of his teeth.
Wow.
Isaiah Hodgins just barely makes the roster.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, which is kind of wild. But so anyway, I do have 3 other topics to throw in there before we do our previews and stuff. So Arizona Cardinals head coach Mike LaFleur talked to the press over the weekend after an OTA, and he said that. Gave pretty clear clear headway on how Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson are going to be used in his offense. Because remember, Mike LaFleur was the offensive coordinator for the LA Rams before taking the Cardinals head coaching job. So remember what we're dealing with here: Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams here. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play the Devontae Adams role, which is the X receiver that and the X receiver, as you guys as some people may know, is one that plays on the outside and looks at the one-on-one matchups that they have to offer. While the Z role is kind of more like in the middle open field and navigating through traffic, which is what Puka Nacua did with the Rams. So Michael Wilson will try to do play that role. So I think it's kind of a big deal here when we're looking at this Cardinals receiver room, and how to rate who the number 1 receiver might be on this. With this, I mean, there might be we might see again Michael Wilson outperform Marvin Harrison Jr. this year like he did last year, and if that's the case, I think you have to start looking at drafting Michael Wilson before you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at this point, which is kind of wild because we all thought he was going to be a tremendous wide receiver. Now he might not even be the best receiver on his own team.
Ooh.
Yeah,
brutal.
Yeah, and then another wide receiver room that I wanted to touch on is that of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So according to Josh Shipley of Sports Illustrated, and this is for Parker Washington and Brian Thomas Jr. that Parker Washington Jr. is set to play quote the most important role of his career. And now Washington's coming off a strong second half of the season where he stepped up. In the fantasy playoffs last year, he had 2 100-yard receiving games, and he caught 4 touchdowns after week 8, which was the Jaguars' bye week. So when he was put in, he filled in for Brian Thomas Jr. Then he became an important piece to helping the Jaguars to clinch what was a competitive AFC South, fending off the Houston Texans, who eventually went to the divisional round and won a road playoff game of their own. So, definitely something to monitor for the Jaguars. And Brian Thomas Jr., according to reports, has registered several strong practices in a row at OTAs, and Brian Thomas Jr. was hampered a little bit by injuries last year, but he came back towards the end of the season. But now it looks like with a normal off season, he looks locked in, and I think that's a really encouraging sign here if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Could be a good move that could push the Jaguars back to the top of the AFC South Division. Of course, we'll be talking about the division here pretty soon.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about their division with the Texans and the potential of a 2-horse race in that in next week's episode of Fantasy Football Fever.
I,
when we preview the southern divisions of the NFL. So we have that, and also a somewhat silver lining for the 49ers fan in a week where. So where the Rams look like they might have won the Super Bowl with the acquisition of Myles Garrett. So that 49ers defensive end, Nick Bosa, said he's pretty far along in his rehab from his torn ACL last season. And the reports are that he could be ready for training camp, which would certainly be unexpectedly good news for the San Francisco 49ers because remember 100 days from now, the 49ers will be playing the Rams in Australia to open up their season, and they're going to need to be able to have Nick Bosa rush towards Matthew Stafford. So definitely something to consider there. So
yeah.
Yeah. So definitely something there. So all right, so are you ready to start the annual preview of our divisions?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and get rolling along here. Where are we going to start, Flynn?
We are going to start with the AFC West division. This is a division where the Denver Broncos won last year. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC. While the Chargers also made the playoffs as the 7th seed, the Kansas City Chiefs missed the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. So while the Raiders finished with the worst record in the NFL and landed and got the first pick in the draft, which they used to draft Fernando Mendoza with the first overall pick. So I think so. We have to think that this is certainly going to be an interesting dynamic with these teams. So and we'll show you the over-unders for each of these teams on the next slide here. But let's go over all the key players here for fantasy and also mind you, all these rankings are with our good friends at fantasypros.com. So they have a pretty comprehensive ECR estimated consensus ranking of all the players from the quarterbacks to the defensive ends, and the offensive line rankings are taken from Mike Clay's board kit on the ESPN.
Sound like Flynn was kind of breaking up again, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's take a look at those Broncos. Those are the fantasy rankings. And of course, we'll be doing a little more comprehensive look at fantasy rankings coming up probably next month. So we got Bo Nix right in the middle of the pack there. Mahomes out there. Herbert in the top 10 for Mendoza. Well, he's a rookie, so it looks like they're probably going to go ahead and use him as their starter here, even though they did get Kirk Cousins, although I still don't know why. Looking at the running backs, I got Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. I'll tell you what, Harvey. I think the last couple of years he's been pretty darn good. And J.K. Dobbins, a veteran back up there.
Yeah, I mean R.J. Hart was a rookie last year, so
yeah, very, very, very good. I think he's got nowhere else to go but up here in this new season coming up. For Kansas City, Kenneth Walker III, he just won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks just a couple of months ago. And now he's going to be playing his home games at Arrowhead Stadium. He's got Emmett Johnson on his backup. So it'll be interesting how the run game goes for the Chiefs this year. Omari and Hampton and Keaton Mitchell, it's going to be interesting to see how Hampton comes back from that big injury that took him out for pretty much almost almost all of last season. I was hoping to get some good numbers from him, but unfortunately he got hurt, and Keaton Mitchell's going to be his backup. Meanwhile, going into his second year will be Ashton Jeanty, who is now number 8 among fantasy running backs, and Mike Washington Jr. now at number 63. Now, these are all the, correct me if I'm wrong, Flynn, these are rankings going into this year, right?
Right. These are the current rankings of that according to fantasypros.com, an estimated consensus ranking. So that's what those numbers are, and what should also be noticed, and what's not and a couple things. So Emmett Johnson was selected in the 5th round of the draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. So a completely different look in the with the Chiefs running back room this season for them. When you look at the Broncos, because they're going to probably do running back by committee again. Also, another name that's not listed on here. Because again, there are only 2 slots available for running backs. Jonah Coleman was selected by I believe was selected by the Broncos this year. He was because he was selected in the draft earlier this year, and I believe he was let me just see the running back from Washington. He was their 4th round pick this year. So maybe we'll see a little bit of Jonah Coleman, but we'll see what that is. And now, one other thing about the Broncos is look where Evan Ingram is. He's all the way down to number 34. I was pretty confident that Ingram was going to have a top 10 season last year, but it definitely didn't help himself with his performance. So.
You know what that also means? There's also backup tight ends ahead of him on this list.
Yeah, I
know, right? There are 30 teams. There you go. So there's 3 backups that are ahead of him on this list.
And one of them isn't even listed on here. David Njoku is Aronde Gadsden's backup. He's ranked 26. And Colby Parkinson of the Rams is ranked 31. He's not on the NFC West board because of Terrence Ferguson. But yeah, so this is going to be an offense that's going to be heavily relying on the ground game and relied upon, according to Mike Clay, the best offensive line in football. So,
wow.
And also Bo Nix's leg as well. Because remember what happened last year with Bo Nix? He got hurt in overtime against Buffalo.
Yep, it is. So the Broncos come in with the number 1 offensive line and number 2 defensive special teams. So it looks like they're going to be putting Kansas City, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas on notice here. Interesting that Brock Bowers is going into this year as the number 1 tight end, even though he kind of slipped a little bit in his second year. But I guess we can see a bounce back year with him.
So, I mean, especially with the rookie quarterbacks, I think tend to lean more on tight ends to make those slant passes and to be able to win the one-on-one matchups with opposing linebackers and safeties in the middle of the field, and Brock Bowers has been doing that at a high level since he got into the league. So. And especially it's big with the targets. Because if you look at the Raiders receiver room, it's arguably the worst in the NFL. All things considered.
And of course, I noticed Travis Kelce, he signed a 1-year deal to remain in Kansas City for at least 1 more year. But I'm starting to think this might be it, because I think maybe he and Taylor wants to maybe start a family. Of course, they're getting married soon, so
Yeah, I know it's coming up within the next month or so. It's yeah, but it's yeah, and then also another trying to have another thing. I mean, and there really isn't much in the way of like the superstar wide receivers here. Although Jalen Waddle coming in, and right now they have him as at best a serviceable starter in fantasy ranks. If you're looking at the 12 team, they're probably suggesting draft Jalen Waddle as a flex option, which is kind of telling about how things are going to go here. So,
Right.
so yeah. So, any other things before we take a look at their schedules?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Looks interesting. Those are the numbers here. Now let's. I guess we can go ahead and take their schedules for each of these teams here. And
Mm.
the thing you see on the bottom, ladies and gentlemen, those are the over under predictions. And it looks like they have the Broncos at 9.5 right there.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
good.
I can't mark taking the over any faster than that. I'm over all the.
I'm thinking. I'm actually thinking they will definitely sweep the Raiders. They could split with the Chargers, and
Mm.
I'm kind of leaning towards sweeping the Chiefs as well.
Mm.
So
That's one, two, three, four, five. Let's try.
are you looking at this from a Denver perspective?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't know about their games against Chargers because I think the Chargers are kind of more formidable than I think people give them credit for, because I think so bringing in someone like Mike McDaniel to be a play caller, be an offensive play caller, and helping organize the offense. Now it didn't work out as a head coach there, but it's definitely has worked out there when in terms of the season Tyreek Hill had in 2023. What I think that's a big thing, and then what he was able to do with Devon Achan and Raheem Mostert down there in Miami. So and now Jim Harbaugh hopes it translates over to the Chargers. So you have that, but. So, but I actually think Denver is going to take a step back this year.
Mm.
I mean, I think part of it is because we don't know about Bo Nix. But also, they won a lot of one-score games last year. So I think that think they're due to regress towards the mean this year. So.
Hmm.
So I think the Chargers are going to sweep Denver. I think they'll split with Kansas City, and I think Denver is only going to be able to manage a split of the Raiders. And I remember the Raiders played played the Broncos tough each time they played each other last year, and it was a team that was actively trying to lose so they can get the number one pick in the draft. So. I could see Denver going being under 9.5. I could see I think Kansas City is going to be under 10.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have to deal with potential with the situation with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I think this is the Chargers division to lose. Quite honestly.
Interesting.
That's a very bold statement there. I'm kind of planning to agree with that. As Kansas City 10.5, I'd have to go a little bit under, maybe 8 at best.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
If Mahomes is healthy, I don't know. I'm on the fence. This is
I,
very, very close.
I mean, their defense is not great.
True.
And they let their top two corners sign with the Rams in free agency. Either free agency or in trade. So
Yeah.
I don't know about the
This is
about this when it comes to the
this is
Chiefs.
close, but yeah, I'll probably go the under two though. In order from left to right, I'm going over, under, over, under.
Yeah, I'm going under 9.5. I'm going under the Chiefs 10.5. I'm going over 10.5 for the Chargers, and then I'm gonna go under 6.5, but just slightly. I think the Raiders are gonna wind up winning 6 games, but I just don't know if the amount of if they have the requisite talent yet. I think eventually the Raiders will trade for a star receiver, or if they're lucky enough to draft Jeremiah Smith in Ohio State in the draft next year, they'll do that. So.
Yeah. So Tim, what's your thing from left to right? Yeah. As far as me, I went I went over, under. Flynn was the same with me on everything except for the Broncos. Flynn's taking the under on the Broncos. So what's yours from left to right?
I'm going slightly under with Broncos.
Okay.
I'm going to go under with the Chiefs. I'm going over with the Chargers, and just slightly under with the Raiders.
All right. So you're exactly the same as Flynn. I'm the lone wolf on the Broncos. I have the over.
Yeah. And now I just want to look at potential fantasy schedules here, for the Raiders, and I think it's really for Brock Bowers that I kind of think they have some. I mean, look at the Raiders that their last three the last 2 weeks of the season, like Brock Bowers, which is week 16 and 17. So Brock Bowers draws the Titans and the Cardinals, and they might have two of the worst defenses in the league. So. So Brock Bowers might be a league winner tight end this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the Chiefs defense has a very tough stretch from weeks 12 through 17, at Buffalo on Thanksgiving, at the Rams on a Thursday night, at Cincinnati, and then home against Drake May, AJ Brown and the Patriots on a Monday night, and then they play the 49ers in Arrowhead, and then they're at the Chargers. So that's a tough 6-week stretch.
That is going to really test them.
Yeah,
it's going to really test their mettle right there.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you're looking at maybe potential favorable matchups for Lad McConkey, I think he's got potentially favorable matchups for the playoffs as well. So because they have the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs, those 3 weeks. So
that could be favorable. That could be favorable for him.
Yeah. But then in terms of the Broncos, that they have the Raiders, Bills, and Patriots in fantasy playoffs. Although so you have that, but in terms of the Broncos defense, because they're number 2 in according to the fantasy ranks so far. So I mean, their schedule isn't too terrible, I don't think. Obviously the divisional matchups are not going to be easy, easy per se. But I definitely think this is a match, something that they can work around.
Sounds good. So it looks like the consensus of us is saying that it probably might be the year of the Chargers, baby.
Yeah, the Chargers.
Yeah. All right.
And now go, Chargers, go. Don't know if you have that clip, but
I don't.
Yeah.
I'll look for it. I'll see if we can get it on here.
Or maybe does Alex have it? Probably.
I'm sure Alex does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. So it looks like we're picking the Chargers to be the consensus favorite for the AFC West.
Yeah.
So I guess.
So then before we get into the NFC West, let's reveal our tough trivia questions.
Sure.
I couldn't think of one this week. So
Yeah, I mean, I have a question. So,
All right, go ahead. Ask yours first.
all right. So I mentioned at the start of this broadcast that said that Myles Garrett is the first ever reigning defensive player of the year to be traded at the as the reigning defensive player of the year. So there were two other players who won defensive player of the year. So that changed teams the year following winning defensive player of the year. Can you name those two?
Oh, interesting.
I think I have one in mind. Well, actually, I have two.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one.
Yeah. That one I'll have to think about. All right. I guess mine goes on more of the classic side of things. Mine is just going to be a generic question. I was just typing in some random questions into Google, and I actually came up with this. Who is the heaviest player in NFL history to score a touchdown on a rush? The heaviest player to have the heaviest player in NFL history to get a touchdown as far as a rush.
Now, the obvious answer may not be the correct answer.
We'll remember this though, because I stuck with the theme. It is going to be a player on the West.
So that means Tim. So Tim, that means it can't be the player that I know you're thinking and the player that I'm thinking of. So
right. So I can't. So it's not.
Well,
him.
I'll give you guys a hint though. It's not an active player. He's retired.
Oh, retired player. Okay, so
he holds the record. Yeah, not too terribly long ago. It actually happened this past decade. I'll give you guys that hint. It happened this past decade.
Okay, so in the last 10 years. Okay.
Correct.
Last 10 years. Okay. All right, that sounds fair. So now we're going to preview the NFC West for the 2026 campaign. Looking at the Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks. Looking at their projected offensive starters and their fantasy rankings here. Looks like got Stafford and Purdy near the middle of the pack with Jacoby Brissett and Sam Darnold kind of below a little bit. So it looks like the Cardinals will be starting their top draft pick Jeremiyah Love with veteran Tyler Algier, who has been in the league I don't know how long. I think he needs to retire. And I think Algier just signed a contract with the Cardinals recently.
Yeah, I mean, think about how unlucky Tyler Algier has been. So it's like he has a great end to the 2022 season, and then the Falcons draft Bijan Robinson, and he had to play second fiddle to Bijan the last 3 years. Then he goes to Arizona, and they draft Jeremiyah Love with their first round picks. I mean, how unlucky can you be when it comes? Well, if you're a Tyler Algier.
Maybe lightning striking twice, huh?
Yeah.
Then you got Kyron Williams and Blake Corum in the backfield for the Rams. Run CMC and Isaac Guarendo backing up in the 49ers with Jadarian Price and Jack Charbonnet for the Seahawks. Looks like Jadarian Price wasn't that their top draft pick?
Yep. He was the 32nd overall pick in the 2022 in the draft out of Notre Dame. So you have two starting running backs who played last year at Notre Dame in Jeremiyah Love and Jadarian Price.
Yeah, interesting right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other things to know. What's also not listed here is the crowded Cardinals running back depth chart. So James Conner is ranked 55th. Trey Benson is ranked number 70. So definitely a crowded running back room. So so you definitely have so going to be a competition for that backup running back role behind Jeremiyah Love.
Right, this is gonna be interesting right there.
Yeah, and also what's also going to be interesting with the Cardinals is that if Jacoby Brissett is in a contract dispute, and it definitely looks like that it's definitely something that'll transpire. Then it's going to be between Carson Beck and Gardner Minshew to potentially replace them as the Cardinals Week 1 starting QB.
Uh-huh. Now looking at the wideouts for these teams, got Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, and veteran Kendrick Bourne with the Cardinals there. With the Rams, of course, you have Puka Nakua Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Ranked number 3 among the fantasy wideouts with Devontae Adams and Kanata Mumfield. Must be another draft pick of theirs. We have Mike Evans, who spent a few years in Tampa Bay and now is in the Golden Gate Bay, San Francisco, with Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk. Now, Ayuk is still on the roster, but is there still talks that he wants to be traded, or?
It's I mean I think Ayuk might wind up getting cut altogether. And I think the 49ers are trying to recuperate some of the money that would have been guaranteed to Ayuk based upon the lack of performance and based upon his antics off the field. So yeah,
and you got Torrey Horton as the wide receiver 3, along with one of the 2 best receivers, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and a new acquisition for the Seahawks, Rashid Shaheed, which I nicknamed Speed, because every time he catches the ball, he just turns on the afterburners. He is one fast individual right there.
Yeah, I mean, Shaheed, think of how essential Rashid Shaheed was for the Seahawks Super Bowl run last year. I said that he was acquired midseason in a trade with the Saints to be their vertical threat downfield, and then not only does he do some of that, he also was the best kick returner in the game in the second half of the season.
All right. Looking at the tight end position, Trey McBride is back with the Cardinals, ranked number 2 among fantasy tight ends. Terrence Ferguson with the Rams, he's going in at number 24. George Kittle, who pretty much drank almost everyone's beer at WrestleMania 42, is number 10 on the tight end list. And A.J. Barner, a young tight end who I think did quite well last year. I think he can make a breakout season this year. He's going in as the 23rd ranked tight end there. And then
he finished last year as the number 14 tight end in fantasy football, and he had touchdown receptions in week 16 and 17 for the Seahawks, and then he had in the crazy Emeka Egbuka game against Tampa. AJ Barner had caught all 7 of his targets for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game that Seattle lost. But that was his best game of the season, and he was constantly on track for games in which he would have 3 or 4 receptions and be a serviceable starter as a tight end. And
right. And looking at the trenches, defense, special teams, Rams at 4, Seahawks at 3, Niners 18, and the Cardinals 32. Pretty much
they're bottom of the list.
Right
there. 32nd and last.
But they're almost in the middle on their offensive line, with the Rams having the 5th best, the 8th best to the Niners, and the 10th best to the Seahawks.
Yeah,
So
and and you also got, and I think the closing of the gap between Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely noted in these rankings.
uh-huh. So so it looks like very interesting starting uh potential starters on the offense for these teams here. So let us get to the respective schedules for these teams here.
Oh God, 3.5. Oh, geez.
Three and a half wins for the Cardinals. You know, I'm just going to go. I
Let's
think
see.
3.5 wins, just a little bit. I'm just going to go slightly over on the Cardinals, but not too much.
Wait a minute. All right, hold on. Let me look at this. Let me see.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
wait a minute.
in the Cardinals' first 11 games, they are 7-point underdogs or greater in each of their first 11 games.
Hey, wait. Hold on. Wait, call me crazy. I think I'm taking the under here. I think I see one win, maybe two. Hold on. Let me go through this. Two. Two wins I see for the Cardinals here. The Jets and the Raiders.
So you think they're going to start 0-13?
Indeed.
Yeah, which is kind of wild. I do think I mean, look, the Cardinals have weapons. So, like Jeremiyah Love is what I consider a weapon, and Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. I mean that they have pretty good skill players. So I definitely think the Cardinals are going to score points. They're going to move the ball up and down the field, and you have an offensive coach as your head coach after having 3 years of a defensive mind as your head coach. So I definitely I think I think they're going to be better, but I think they might be a 4-win team, a 5-win team.
Mm. Yeah, I have them getting the number 1 draft pick. I have them having the worst record. They'll be your number 1 draft pick in 2027. First, the way it's looking.
Yeah, and also what should be noted was that yesterday at this time on Sunday night, the Rams over/under was 10.5. Now with the acquisition of Myles Garrett, their over/under is now at 11.5 wins.
Well, let's see. I mean, I think
I would have to agree. I would have to agree with Vitaly here. I'm taking the under with Arizona.
Oh, now you're going. Oh, nice. Made the switch.
Yeah, because Jets and Raiders. Yeah, I'm
So
surprised if the Browns were on the list, then that'd be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
so then, what do you got? 1 win, 2 wins, or 3 wins? Then what do you have? I have 2.
I just see the Jets and Raiders.
Oh, same thing as me.
I mean, the week 7 against Denver could be a sneaky upset. It's because I think the Broncos are because I currently don't have the Broncos making the playoffs. Despite maybe that Giants game could be interesting. I think that Kansas City game could be interesting. So we'll see. Like if that maybe Washington. So I don't. Look. The Cardinals are 7-point underdogs to their first 11 games for a reason, but I don't think they're going to lose all 11 of those games. I just think with the week-to-week flow of the NFL, I just don't. It's hard for me to find that conceivable. But yeah, I think the Cardinals are in a very, very tough spot because the other 3 teams in the division all have star caliber players and teams capable of winning 10 games and going to the playoffs. Obviously, the Rams have been documented this whole offseason, but Seattle maybe, San Francisco maybe. So we'll see what transpires with those teams.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2 wins for the Cardinals. 11.5 for the Rams here.
Yeah, I'm taking the over, but just barely. I have 12. I think.
I mean, I have the Rams winning 14 games. Like, I think
Mhm.
the only losses I currently
Wow.
see, I could see them split. I think they're going to split with Seattle. I think they're I think depending on what happens with the 49ers, maybe, but I could see them tripping up in week 5 against Buffalo. So, but really that's kind of about it there.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see here.
You know,
Split with the Niners. Will sweep the Cardinals. Split with the Seahawks. So that's 5 wins right there. Then they'll take the Giants. They should beat the Eagles. Uh, they might lose to the 49ers here too, but they might beat the Bucks. Uh, might lose to the Packers. I think Los Angeles could maybe pull out 12 wins at least. So I'm going to take the slight over with the Rams.
yeah. Yeah,
And
I counted losses just to make it easier. I have them going 13-4. Their losses will they're going to split with the San Francisco. They're going to split with San Francisco and Seattle. I think, and their other 2 losses I think are going to come from the Bills and the Chargers and the Packers.
mhm. Okay, so let's just see with the Niners here. Uh, sweep Arizona. They'll get You'll get a win apiece. I think against the Rams and the Seahawks. They'll probably split those series. That's 4 games. Uh, they could beat the Dolphins. Uh, I think they can beat the Panthers, Falcons, Raiders. Uh, on the road against the Giants, they'll probably lose there. So I split the Rams. Say they'll lose to the Chargers. They could beat the Chiefs. Uh, and so I guess I got 9 wins for the Niners. So I
Yeah.
guess I will be taking the slight under with the
Hmm,
Niners.
interesting.
Yeah, to me, I think the Niners are on the same wavelength. I think as the Bears, the Packers, the Eagles, and maybe the Vikings and the Falcons, maybe some of those teams that'll be in the mix for playoff spots. So, because like, I don't because I think San
Yeah.
Francisco played. I think San Francisco. It was clear all year last year that the Rams and the Seahawks were the 2 best teams in the league last year, and the NFC Championship game between those 2 teams was like the true Super Bowl. So I think
Right.
with that being the canvas here, I definitely don't think, and with a tougher schedule, that I don't think San Francisco will hit 10 wins, 10, 11 wins like they did last year. So
Mhm.
I have the under for San Francisco. So
Okay.
I might also
Yeah, I
have
actually have the over, but ever so barely. I have them 6 loss. I have them 11-6.
Yeah, I mean, I have Seattle under 10.5 because
Mhm.
I think because as good as their secondary was last year, it does concern me a little bit. Losing Tyreek Woolen to Philly certainly hurts.
Okay.
So I currently have I think I have Seattle under 10.5.
I could probably see them beating the Patriots. They'll beat the Commanders. Uh, they can beat the Broncos. They'll beat the Chiefs. They can beat the Bears. They can beat the Cardinals. Well, they'll sweep the Cardinals, I'll say so. Uh, they can beat the Raiders. They'll split with the Niners. Um, home against the Cowboys. Ooh. Still waiting to see how good the defense for the Cowboys is going to be because this is going to be a tough one. So I'm going to have to give that one to the Seahawks right now. So that'd be 7. They could beat the Giants. They could beat the Eagles. Beat the Panthers. So that's 10 wins right there. Then when you add, let's see, I'm looking at an over for the Seahawks, maybe 11 or 12 wins.
Yeah, I also have 11. I have the Niners and the Seahawks winning the same amount of games. It's just a matter of now who wants the tiebreaker. I cannot figure out right now.
Right.
So I mean, if you have San Francisco and Seattle splitting, then it comes to division records after
Right.
that. So
Yeah, well,
Right.
let me try. Let me see if I can figure this out. I'm trying to figure out my other my 6 losses. Well, not kind of division. The 4 additional losses I have for the Seahawks are they're losing to the Chargers, they're losing to the Broncos, losing to the Bears, and losing to. Oh no, never mind. No, hold on. I have 5 I have 4 additional teams. Hold on, 4. It might be 7 losses here. Hold on. A split, so that's 2. Lose to the Chargers, that's 3. Lose to the Bears, that's 4. Lose to the Cowboys, that's 5. And lose to the Eagles, that's 6. So wait, hold on. I have them at 6 losses, actually. Making them, would that be 11 and 6? Hold on. My math is wrong. Hold on. 12. 12. Oh, so that's 12. I have 11 and 6. Never mind. It's still 6 losses.
Yeah.
Right, as of right now, I'm going to go. The Niners have the tiebreaker.
Niners with the tiebreak. Okay, so I'm going under slightly with the Cardinals. I am going over with the Rams slightly under with the Niners, and a little bit over with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I have under, over. And yeah, what complicates things with my tiebreaker is I have both of them losing to the Cowboys. I have the Niners and the Seahawks both losing to the Cowboys. That makes things even more complicated.
Ooh. Yeah, the 49ers will be at AT&T Stadium, but the Cowboys will be heading to Seattle in Week 13.
Ah.
So that's going to be very interesting there. So,
oh, yeah.
So Flynn, how did you see this thing here as far as over and unders?
Yes, so I have the over 3.5 for Arizona. I have the over 11.5 for the Rams, and then I have under 10.5 for San Francisco and Seattle.
Oh wow! So yeah, me and Flynn are only agreeing on 1, which is the over on LA.
Yeah.
So what's yours again, Tim? What was your order again?
Under, over.
Okay, so you and I are in agreement on 3 out of the 4.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I look at things there.
Yep.
Will be interesting there. And so with that, we have one more little bit of business to take care of. We're going to have to see if we can answer those trivia questions, and those are very good ones indeed. I guess we can go back to Flynn. He said there was 2 players in history that won Defensive Player of the Year that was traded to another team.
So, I mean, they weren't traded to a following team. They signed with a different team the following season.
Signed with a different team the following season. Okay.
Yeah, I think one player that came to my mind, I think right away. Well, I'm not sure if it happened the following year or a couple years later. J.J. Watt was the first thing that came into my mind. I thought of J.J. Watt right out of the gate.
Okay, so what are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking he may have won Defensive Player of the Year for the Eagles before he played for the Packers. So I'm thinking about the late great Reggie White.
Oh, interesting. And then the other one I had in mind, I was torn between 2 people. I had either Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald.
And I think
And
my
my,
other one, the other one I really came to my mind was a guy that may have won Defensive Player of the Year with the Dallas Cowboys before he was signed to the Denver Broncos, DeMarcus Ware.
ooh, good one. All right, so yeah, my official answers will be J.J. Watt and Khalil Mack.
And then what are Tim's answers?
Reggie White and DeMarcus Ware.
Okay, you're going far. You're going pretty back. Interesting.
Is that, I mean, I will say I think Timmy is closer is closer on the track, but in terms of all of your guesses,
Huh.
yeah, I mean, so Reggie White was not the reigning Defensive Player of the Year when he went to the Packers, and neither was the case for DeMarcus Ware when he went to the Broncos. So the two players that I was looking for are Deion Sanders, who won 1994 with the 49ers, then he signed with the Cowboys in 95. And Tim, this will be a blast for the past for you. Dana Stubblefield from 1997 with the 49ers.
Dana Stubblefield.
Yeah, then he signed with Washington as a free agent prior to the start of the 1998 season. So Dana Stubblefield and Deion Sanders.
And prime time. Okay. So let's go back to Natalie's question.
All right. Mine is simply this player holds the record for being the heaviest player to record a rushing touchdown. Heaviest touchdown by a rush. Just for the sake of argument, Tim, were you initially thinking of William the Refrigerator Perry?
That was my obvious answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing with me.
Yeah, but remember, bear in mind, the funny thing is, this is actually the guy who broke his record.
Oh, geez.
And remember, we are talking about the West. I'll give you guys a hint. This person did it as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that year it was the year 2015. They played the San Diego Chargers. So yeah, there's your clues.
Oh. I remember something like this happened. Something like this could happen because of how Andy Reid calls plays in the red zone. So,
this guy was actually a lineman, and a defensive lineman. He lined up in the fullback position.
Oh,
he was a defensive lineman for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
2015.
He actually might be more. He might be more familiar to you, Tim, because he played for your Dallas Cowboys one year.
He played for the Cowboys for 1 year before.
Yeah, that was the last team he played for. He retired at the end of the 2020 season.
Okay. And he played for the Chiefs. Oh my gosh, I'll probably kick myself because I
To be honest, I'm not familiar with this player, so we'll see.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with him, but perhaps you guys are.
Something is just not coming to me.
All right. Anything coming to you, Flynn?
No. So we just have to play the strike horn.
Just take. We have to give us the X's.
All right. Well, one final clue just to make sure. All right. The teams he played for were the Chiefs from 2012 to 2016. Then he played for the Falcons for 2017. The Carolina Panthers 2018 to 2019. Then the Dallas Cowboys in 2020. And he was drafted from Memphis. Any help? Does that help at all? All righty. The answer I was looking for, Dontari Poe.
Oh, Dontari Poe. That's...
Yeah.
Oh,
let's see. It says, Dontari Poe is the heaviest player in NFL history to score a rushing touchdown, weighing 346 pounds. The Kansas City Chiefs defensive lineman set the official Guinness World Record for this feat on November 22nd, 2015, plunging into the end zone from 1 yard out against the San Diego Chargers. And some notes here, Pogue surpassed the previous record held by Chicago Bears legend William the Refrigerator Perry, who weighed 335 pounds when he famously scored a 1 yard rushing touchdown on November 3rd, 1985. But however, if you want to go technical here, the actual heaviest player to score a receiving touchdown, it says Vita Vea of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 347 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then, oddly enough, this guy, Dontari Poe, let's see, he was also the heaviest player to throw a touchdown pass on a trick play.
Dontari Poe.
Yeah. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar. I've never heard of him. So
I just looked up. That was the same guy that threw the touchdown pass on that Christmas Day game against the Broncos to clinch the division.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
It was that he like jumped in the air as he was throwing to the back of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Now I'll to find a different question when we preview the South. That was going to be my question. The heaviest player to throw a receiving touchdown. I was going to go in a different direction, but now I got to do something else.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I guess that is it. This show is just about in the books. Don't forget, Hooked on Sports, John Flynn just released his latest episode earlier today, so it is available now on Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and where you get podcasts. Of course, on his YouTube channel, it's available right there, of course. And so we will be back next week. We'll be going south. We're going to be previewing the AFC and the NFC South.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting divisions that could be on the upside a little bit this season. Who knows?
There's a lot of upside with the NFC South that I think could be tapped into this season.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a shake-up right there. So just tune in next week, same time, same place to find out. So we'll go ahead.
7 nights from now.
Yep.
We will reconvene here, and we will go south next week. So that's going to do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. For John Flynn, for John Natali, my name is Tim McClellan. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for watching us. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. We'll see you next week.